He hadn't seen that house in 12 years, yet every brick, every window, every corner pulled him back into the memories he tried so hard to bury. Amr stood at the small iron gate, the same one that used to creak when he came home late at night. Now it felt heavier, older, like it carried the weight of everything unsaid between him and the woman who once loved him more than her own breath. He tightened his grip on the bouquet of white lilies, her favorite, though he wasn't sure if they still were, and took a long breath. This visit wasn't planned. It was 12 years overdue. Life had changed for him in ways he never imagined. From a struggling worker trying to build a future to a millionaire with more properties than he could count, he had climbed the ladder of success one exhausting step at a time. But with every achievement, every celebration, every deal closed, a single thought always remained like a constant ache. He had no one to share it with. No real home, no family, no peace. Wealth filled his pockets but left his heart painfully empty, and tonight, it pushed him toward the only person he had ever truly belonged to. The door opened before he knocked. She stood there, holding a basket of folded clothes, her hair tied loosely like she had hurried downstairs. For a moment, she froze. Not a single word left her lips, her eyes widened, and the breath she took trembled. Faria looked nothing like the woman he remembered and yet everything like her at the same time. Mature, graceful, stronger somehow, but her eyes were exactly as he remembered, deep, soft, quietly emotional. Amr swallowed, forcing himself to speak. "Assalamu alaikum, Faria." Her lips parted slightly, as if she wanted to say something but couldn't gather the right words. After a long, heavy pause, she finally whispered, 12 years, and now you remember this house exists." He lowered his gaze, guilt twisting inside him. "I know I shouldn't have come without telling you. But I needed to see you." She placed the basket on a small wooden table by the door, her hands trembling so gently he wouldn't have noticed if he wasn't looking for it. "Why now, Amr? After so long?" He didn't know how to answer that. So he did what he always failed to do, he spoke honestly. "Because everything I became, every dream I achieved, none of it feels real without apologizing to the person I wronged the most." Faria let out a quiet, bitter laugh. "Apology? After 12 years, what will that fix?" He stepped inside before his courage broke. The house smelled the same. A warm smell of soap, chai, and a kind of comfort he had never found anywhere else. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," he said softly. I want to understand what I destroyed." Her eyes flashed with emotions he couldn't name. "You destroyed a marriage, Amr. A home, a woman who loved you enough to fight the whole world for you. But you didn't fight for her." She turned away before the tears spilled. "You walked away like I was nothing." He felt that sting in his chest, sharp and merciless. "I was young, stupid, angry. I thought leaving would solve our problems. Leaving only broke me," she whispered. For a few minutes, silence filled the room. The clock ticking on the wall sounded louder than it should have. Amr looked around and noticed small things. Her carefully arranged cushions, the half-knitted sweater on the sofa, the small plant she had always loved keeping by the window. Ordinary things that made a home feel alive. Something he hadn't felt in years. "Are you married?" he finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. She shook her head once, not looking at him. "No, some wounds never fully heal. Some people never get replaced." His stomach twisted. "I didn't come here to reopen old pain." "Yet you did," she replied, meeting his gaze with a calmness that felt far too controlled. He nodded. He deserved that. More than that. She walked to the kitchen. "If you've come all this way, at least have tea." The simple offer broke something inside him. She still had that kindness he never deserved. He followed her quietly, watching her move around the small kitchen. She boiled water, carefully measured tea leaves, added cardamom. He remembered everything, even the way she stirred the pot slowly, lost in thoughts she didn't voice. "You look tired," she said suddenly, noticing his dark circles. "I haven't slept properly in months," he admitted. "Success is noisy. Loneliness is louder." Faria paused, her hand tightening on the kettle. "You had everything, Amr. Why do you sound like someone who lost?" "Because I did lose," he whispered. "I lost the only person who ever cared about me without wanting anything in return." Her eyes softened for a moment, but she quickly looked away. She poured tea into cups and set them on the table. They sat across from each other, silent again. He took a sip of tea and felt memories rush back like a storm. Her laughter. Their late-night conversations. How she used to sit exactly where she was sitting now, planning their future with bright eyes. He placed the bouquet of lilies on the table. "These are for you." She stared at them for a long moment. "I stopped liking lilies," she said quietly. "They remind me of funerals." His heart sank. "I didn't know." "How would you know?" Her voice wasn't harsh now, it was simply tired. "You didn't stay long enough to learn who I became." He pushed his cup aside. "Tell me who you became. I want to know." She looked up at him, and for the first time since he arrived, she let her emotions show: hurt, exhaustion, years of unspoken pain. "I became someone who learned to live without you. Someone who rebuilt herself piece by piece when you shattered her. Someone who learned not to rely on love because it doesn't guarantee loyalty." Amr felt the words like knives digging under his ribs. "Faria, I didn't come back expecting you to take me back. I came because I needed to face what I ruined." "Good," she said softly. "Because the woman I am today, she doesn't need a man who left her." He nodded slowly, accepting it. Not fighting it. For once, he wasn't running from consequences. "But I also came with something else," he said, reaching into his coat pocket. She stiffened when he placed a worn-out envelope on the table. "I kept this for 12 years. Her fingers twitched but she didn't touch it. "What is it?" "Your last letter." His voice broke. "The one you wrote the night before I left." Shock washed over her face. "You never opened it." "I opened it yesterday," he said. "And it destroyed me." Faria stared at him, speechless. "After 12 years. I wasn't brave enough then," he said truthfully. "But now, I've run out of excuses." She picked up the envelope slowly, hands trembling. "What did it say?" "That you were pregnant," he said. The world stopped. Her breath hitched. Her cup shook. Tears welled instantly, uncontrollably. "You found out now." He nodded. "Yesterday." Faria pressed a trembling hand to her mouth, her whole body shaking. "The baby. He didn't survive. I lost him 2 months after you left." Amr felt the ground disappear beneath him. His breath caught painfully, his hands gripping the table to keep from falling apart. "I didn't know. Faria, I didn't. I should have been there." "I should have." "You weren't," she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I begged God every night to bring you back. I held that baby alone. I lost him alone. And I buried him alone." Amr's vision blurred. He reached out but stopped himself halfway, unsure if he deserved to comfort her. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Her shoulders shook as she cried silently, years of pain pouring out all at once. He sat there helpless, swallowing the agony of his own regret. For a long time, they didn't speak. When she finally wiped her tears, she looked exhausted yet strangely lighter. "Why did you really come, Amr?" He took a shaky breath. "To return something that belonged to you." He placed a second envelope on the table, new, crisp, sealed. "I wrote this for you. Everything I never said, everything you deserved to hear 12 years ago." She stared at it but didn't open it. "You don't have to read it now," he said. "Or ever. I just needed you to have it." Faria wiped her face, breathing slowly. "What do you expect from me now?" "Nothing," he whispered. "Just pray for me. That I stop running from my mistakes." She looked at him for a long time. Then she surprised him by standing up and gently placing her hand on his head, something she used to do when comforting him long ago. "I forgave you years ago," she said softly. "Not for you, for my own peace." He closed his eyes, tears finally falling. "But forgiveness," she added quietly, "doesn't mean I want you back." He nodded, accepting the truth he had feared. Amr stood up slowly. "Thank you for letting me see you." She walked him to the door, her expression calm now. When he stepped outside, he turned back one last time. "Faria, if there was ever a world where we got another chance." "There isn't," she said gently. "But I hope you find happiness somewhere." He smiled sadly. "If I ever do, it will be because of you." She closed the door softly, leaving him standing alone under the evening sky, holding 12 years of regret on his shoulders. And for the first time in his life, the millionaire felt completely, irrevocably poor.